Warning, this video only contains spoilers and is directed to those who's interested and have played Titanfall 1 and 2's campaign. If you wish to play them before watching this video, I recommend you doing so. You have been warned. Hello boys and girls, I'm Flying Teacup, and this is another theory. Or maybe a little. I wanted to make a story catch-up where I explain the background story of all the big characters in the Titanfall universe, for both new and old players who hasn't been interested in the story earlier. This will be a two-parter, because otherwise this video would be around a half an hour long, and I don't think you guys are interested in sitting here for 30 minutes listening to my bad accent and my mispronunciations. So I'll do you a favor. I'll try to release the next part within this week. If not, it should be released somewhere next week. In this part, I'll tell the tale of the IMC. The Interstellar Manufacture Corporation, also known as the IMC, formerly called Hammond Engineering, is a huge corporation which originated from Hammond Robotics, who also are responsible for the discovery of the frontier. Their original mission was to inhabit unknown planets to harvest and exploit their resources to fuel the requirements for the core system. The core system being our own solar system where Earth exists. After a few years, the demand from the core system went silent, and people lost interest in the project. The IMC packed their things and left thousands of civilians to their own. The colonists built their own community and evolved into a brand new form of society, where they lived happily. Suddenly, many years later, the IMC returned to the frontier to collect more resources, just like they did before. But now, things have changed. The colonists weren't too happy letting strangers into their world and gave them resources for free. This escalated into an intergalactic civil war where the colonists fought for their freedom while the IMC fought to reclaim their ground. After the battle of the refueling station Demeter, the newly promoted Vice Admiral Spyglass, a very advanced and intelligent army unit, tries to salvage what's left of the IMC forces and go into hiding until the core system can send more military forces to assist them.
I do not require your understanding, only your compliance.
General Marder is a high-ranking officer who's in charge of the RES division, which is an IMC researching wing who's connected to the remnant fleet. Though the one that General Marder is responsible for on Titan is a little different. It works independently from the remnant fleet's other facilities and is unknown to the militia. General Marder is a very focused and dedicated man. He wants the frontier to evolve and expand under the IMC's control. He sees the militia as primitive and unthoughtful, a roadblock in the progress and evolution of mankind. In the events of Titanfall 2, he's in charge of the development of the Fold weapon and tries to destroy the militia headquarters as well as the planet Harmony. Now he's in charge of the RES division's mercenary group, where he seeks for mercenaries to cover up the lack of assistance from the core system. He's also seeking new revolutionary technology to overcome the militia and end the war.
You kill me, you're better. I'll kill you, I'm better.
Cuban Blisk is a ruthless mercenary who doesn't care who he has to kill as long as he gets paid for it. He's wanted by the militia and seen as a war criminal. He once was a commander for the IMC pilot force after the destruction of Demeter and after Vice Admiral Marcus Graves left the IMC. After being a commander for a few years, he most likely left the IMC to create his own mercenary group, known as the Apex Predators, to seek more jobs with more money. After the events on Titan, he's in charge of the Apex Predators mercenary group as a commander and still seeks for bounty to collect.
Focus. Fight. Win.
Ash is a simulacrum pilot, which means she's a former human pilot who has suffered from major injuries and most likely died in a human state. She has no memory of her past as a human, but thinks that the remnant fleet might have some information that they are hiding regarding her. She was hired by Cuban Blisk to join the Apex Predators and was later given control over the testing facility on Titan. She was killed by BT-7274 and Jack Cooper in the campaign of Titanfall 2. After the events on Titan, she was rebuilt by Vincent Dynamics and pre-programmed to fight for them. But even though, she still seeks for answers to her past and hunts for the remnant fleet's secret base.
All IMC forces, this is your Vice Admiral, Spyglass.
Spyglass is an advanced army unit that provides tactical information to the pilots on the frontier and is created to provide logical and effective strategies to the IMC. The spyglass units are not made for face-to-face combat, but to support the crew behind the scene. The spyglass unit that is present in Titanfall 1 but also in Titanfall 2 is Vice Admiral Spyglass. He once served with Cuban Blisk and Marcus Graves to fight the militia and stop their plans to destroy the refueling station called Demeter. He was also responsible for not sending in a dropshift and saving the pilots on Demeter because he saw it as a waste of resources and a suicide mission. This outrages Graves. After James McAllen's last words to convince Graves to leave the IMC to join militia, Spyglass took his place as Vice Admiral. After the destruction of a Hammond robotic factory, Spyglass took the rest of the IMC forces and hid to regroup and save more resources, now after the militia cut them off from the core system. And finally, what's he up to now? He's probably trying to find a way to come in contact with the core system and to drive out the militia from the frontier. But until then, the Remnant fleet is hiding and only sending out scout units to search for new refueling sources. So that was the first part of 2, where I explained the characters from the Titanfall universe. In the next part I will talk about the militia characters. I'll see you there. Take care.